I've been an instructor for 42 years and a trainer for 36. So I've got many, many, many stories in my heart and in my
Mhm.
head. And my colleagues and I have so many situations where parents, they didn't want to go to a course or a center or something, a bit shy, a bit like, will they judge me or something, what I do with my baby and everything. And we're such a non-judgmental approach that finally they come to us, they take the 5 session and they say to everyone, this is safe. You can go there. This is safe. I can be myself.
Wonderful.
I can be there with having, woken up 8 times during the night and, I'm not have time to put up myself together, but there I'll be loved. Okay. So
I love that environment. Welcome to Spoil Your Baby podcast. I am so happy to be here today with Sylvie Hétu. She is an international trainer and certified infant massage instructor with the International Association of Infant Massage for over 30 years. She has pioneered infant massage in Canada, as well as various countries around the world, including South Africa, Hungary, Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia. She is the president of the International Association of Infant Massage for 12 years and very active throughout her career. And we are so excited for you to be here, Sylvie. Thank you for joining us.
well, thank you very much for welcoming me and allowing me to speak about this wonderful work.
Oh, thank you. I always tell mothers who are sort of new mothers coming into the world of parenting that there are so many helpers around. Like there's like this like invisible community of people that we're here, right? Like you're in
We're here.
communities all over the world.
Yes.
There's infant massage people, there's lactation people, there's baby wearing people, and you just need to hook in to that group, and you will be supported. So, thank you for all of your work in doing that.
Thank you. And thank you for mentioning this golden wire that there is between different groups of people who are really, willing to bring well being for parents and babies right from the start.
Yeah, it's like this. It's just heart-led, passionate group of people that just keep this flame
Yes.
burning, right?
Agreed. Yes.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So let's get into infant massage. I thought people may have heard of it or maybe not, but our listeners, some are pregnant, some have their new baby home for the first time, and some are professionals as well who are sort of learning about nurturing mothers and babies. Give us a little intro into infant massage. Tell us what it's all about.
Thank you. I have limited time, so I'll try to be brief. In fact, infant massage, it belongs to the world. In several more traditional cultures, this has been a practice forever. We can't even trace when it started. And it was starting to fade away,
Mm.
but I am always filled with gratitude to our founder, the founder of this program and association. Her name is Vimala McClure. And her early 20s, she needed a change in her life and decided to go to India to offer her services in an orphanage in a very poor area in a little village in India, where she witnessed babies being happy babies, babies sleeping well, babies smiling, and even the older children in the orphanage. And she was just really intrigued because they were in what we would consider in very poor conditions, had
Yeah.
very little, but
Yeah.
they were just happy. And what she finally, over the weeks she was there, observed is that those little babies had massage every night before they went to sleep,
Wow.
either by the older girls in the orphanage or old women like grandmothers who came, did the massage, and went back home. And she started to wonder if it was because of the massage. And she also had a very deep personal experience when she was there. She contracted malaria bad.
Mm. Wow.
And when she was ill, there were always women around her. It makes me always emotional that day and night touched her, massaged her, sang to her.
Wow.
Now, these women didn't have to do that. They did it out of human kindness. But that was her first experience of the value of nurturing touch and massage. And she had this click. What the babies are experiencing, this is what I felt in my body. And she had this vision that all babies born on earth should have this kind of nurturing touch. And to make a story short, when she was back in USA, where she's from, she had her first baby and started to massage her baby, like what she had learned in India. And you
Mhm.
know how it is, you live in the neighborhood, you meet other parents with their babies, and we chat, how is it, how's the sleep, how's the feeding and everything. And innocently, she just said, oh, I massage my baby, I've learned in India. And all those parents wanted to learn. And that's when she put together a program, 5 sessions, and all the parents in her neighborhood were learning. They loved it and they loved it. And out of the blue, she had an official request from a hospital to create a program and from a publishing company to write a book. So I would say that the event of Vimala McClure was a big turning point in the evolution of infant massage on the planet Earth.
Wow.
And she had the help of a nurse, and then all of a sudden she started training people. And from there, I promise you, it just bloomed organically.
Mm.
And I'll say the main goal of our program and association is to bridge this beautiful tradition passed on from generation to generation with modern knowledge. And people like you cannot imagine, are so helpful for us because you sort of confirm that what we've been doing, with almost 50 years now that we've been around, is so important for babies, and not just because it's cute or whatever.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, it influences their system. So we're here, we are in nearly 100 countries around the world with this program. And we work also internationally. I need to mention that because people like me that are trainers, we're about an international team of 60 that are from all cultures and all professions working together to make sure the program is always up to date
Beautiful.
and current with neuroscience and research and psychology research and everything. So we're here seriously. This is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Even if it is very casual, our classes are very, 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 you know, slow oriented
Yeah.
with parents and babies. So that's who we are at the moment. Yes.
Amazing. So
Yep.
then there are infant massage classes in all of these communities that you mentioned. That's the best way for
We
mothers to access
absolutely.
them.
It's everywhere. It's been translated in all those languages, and if a parent want to have access to a class, they should normally find one, and if not,
Incredible.
we'll send an instructor. We just want to make sure those little babies, and the parents also, because the parents sometimes, if when you have a new baby, you're a bit lost sometimes, aren't you? You're just
Yes.
and somehow we teach them to use their hands for the good of the baby with all sorts of little things, and they start to be reassured also because we believe also in the deep insight of parents. We believe that parents have a sort of intuition about what is right for their baby, despite all the advice that is coming around. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can imagine how that can be nurtured so beautifully through infant
Yes.
massage. And I've heard that account from so many people as well
Oh,
who have
that's
experienced it.
nice that you've
It
heard
sounds
it.
like it was a practice that was immediately attractive, right? To mothers and babies, right? Just starting with
Yes.
sort of the founder coming
Yes.
back, and it just feels good for everyone.
It just feels good. You're very right to say that. And I've been an instructor for 42 years and a trainer for 36. So I've got many, many, many stories in my heart and in
Mhm.
my head about how parents benefit and how once they do it, they just want to continue. They just want to tell other parents, you must go to this class. And my colleagues and I have so many situations where parents, they didn't want to go to a course or a center or something, a bit shy, a bit like, will they judge me or something, what I do with my baby and everything. And we're such a non-judgmental approach that finally they come to us, they take the 5 session, and they say to everyone, this is safe. You can go there. This is safe. I can be
Wonderful.
myself. I can be there with having, woken up 8 times during the night and, not have time to put up myself together, but there
Mhm.
I'll be loved. Okay. So,
I
yeah.
love that environment. And it's
It,
so nice too, because it is a new kind of ground for parents. It's not feeding, it's not sleep, and those things can be so emotionally charged and difficult. This is just, enrichment and a totally different practice
yes.
for them
Yeah.
to take on. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful way of seeing it.
It's a free activity in Dash Dash. You mean, it's a, yes, it's not mandatory, but it is. You know what I mean? Because once you know
Yes.
what it does physiologically, you think, I always say all babies, parents should go to the program. It's sort of our vision that all babies go to the program. But
Mhm.
I mean, if a parent doesn't, the baby can still be well, you know?
Of course.
Because
But it sounds so nourishing and so beautiful and such a great way to build the relationship between mothers and
yes,
babies and
yes,
parents and
yeah.
babies.
I think you're absolutely right here, agree, because one of our major goal is to enhance this relationship, this love between the parent and the baby.
Yeah.
We all know there's so many studies now done on bonding and attachment in the early weeks and months,
Yeah.
as a basis for establishing, well-being for the rest of your life. And even studies now, long-term studies have shown that babies who do receive nurturing touch, conscious nurturing touch at the start, 20 years later, they're more resilient, they have higher
Amazing.
sociability. So we think, like, for a society, why miss the chance? Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and in this world where I think I would say on a general level, babies are not touched enough, and I talk about this a lot. They're kind of bundled up and isolated pretty quick, and then they're in car seats and strollers and other
Yeah,
contraption machines in the homes, and we're seeing the effects of that, right? There's a lot of developmental delays, there's a lot of physical issues with babies. Infant massage is a complete, you know, remedy to that, and
it is.
I would guess would kind of connect parents with their intuition to be much more hands-on with
Yes,
their
yeah,
babies.
yes. Connecting parents, educating a bit about the importance of touch. That I think, even if I've done this way for so many years, I think we're just like in a big transition point with understanding why touch is important, both physiologically for the brain and for the psychology side, the sociability side. We're just starting, to completely intellectually understand that. And for us, even in our international association, we're at that threshold, making the next step about the crucial importance of that for so many levels.
Yeah.
And we will.
Incredible. I know. I have my mind is like firing on all of the areas. So you mentioned a few of the benefits to babies. Will you expand on that a little more? I want mothers and fathers and parents listening to fully understand how incredible it is for their baby, and yeah, what can they expect if they're practicing infant massage?
Yes, thank you for this question. There's two aspects to it. There is like the before a class, how do we promote and attract parents where we can go a little more into research and everything, try to convince them. And then there's the experience, because although we do have our list of benefits in research and everything, when they are in the class, there's the experience. So letting um, the parents themselves discover, okay, and realize the benefits by themselves is also very important. But
Yeah.
when we want to either convince authorities about having the program in their premises, whether it's a community center or a clinic or a parenting center of any kind, even centers for immigrant is so good.
Mm.
We have classified the categories of the benefits of our program in four main categories. So that helps us organize our brain. And the first one being a proper stimulation for the baby. Proper, I say proper because we are a bit caught in the myth of stimulation and we went a bit
That's
too
right.
far
Yeah.
into that overwhelming the babies. Proper stimulation of two categories. Number one, all the bodily systems. So circulation is improved, digestion, which really, really makes the parents happy. So you
Yeah.
teach them the strokes to help the waste get out, and all that.
Mhm.
They're very delighted. Immune system, respiratory system, also with the rhythmical massage on the chest. Nervous system, am I missing some system? All the system, body
Yeah.
system. On the other hand, it's also proper stimulation of the senses. And in our environments, in our classes, we have in mind to protect the babies from being overstimulated. And of course, the senses of touch, very important, the first language of the baby, the first sense developed in utero as well. But we care also about the vision, about the sound, about the taste and everything in protecting the environment, creating a rather dim lights and everything to not overwhelm the baby, soft voices. And we use the voice a lot for the development of hearing, not exaggerating again, but singing lullabies or having a sing-song voice for the babies, asking permission and all that. So the senses are properly developed.
Mhm.
And the second big benefit is relaxation. Now, relaxation is more and more important in our fast world. We would all agree to that. And we sometimes think that stress and high cortisol and everything is just like an adult thing. But it's also so much present in babies, and science have shown that, that also. So research has shown that with massage, the babies start to reduce their stress cortisol level and start to have higher all the good hormones,
Mhm.
oxytocin, endorphins, and all that. And not only in the baby, but in the parent too, that massages the baby. So there's relaxation. We all know that if the baby has less cortisol in the brain, then the sleep hormone melatonin can kick in. And that's why a lot of parents do massage before nap or before evening because they see almost immediately that the baby sleeps deeper and longer
Yeah.
with the massage. The third big category of massage is relief. Now, I want to make sure that everyone understands here that we're not replacing health professionals, doctors, whatever. If a parent has a worry with the baby, it's not our job.
Of course.
We're teachers of nurturing touch. However, the parents, under our guidance, under the guidance of an instructor, we teach on dolls. We never touch babies.
Mhm.
They belong to the parents. The parents will learn in their hands how to solve all sorts of little problems, like mucus in the nose, mucus in the lungs, colic, and constipation, cold feet, cold hands. So it's also the teething. We have stroke, like over the gums and everything. So parents then feel empowered that for the little things that are not life threatening, that needs, of course, the intervention of a health professional, they can do a lot for their baby, helping
Mm.
their baby.
So empowering.
Yes. And finally, but not the least, the fourth main benefit is interaction. And that embraces all aspects of bonding, the relationship with the baby, the respect of the baby,
Mm.
learning about the baby, because we teach parents also some basic things about their babies, their cues, their signals, their behavioral state, their reflexes, so we can learn the difference with that. So I understand my baby better. I can respect my baby better, and then a strong relationship start to be established, and communication also with the words and the asking permission, waiting for an answer. So I've done for many years courses at Montreal University in the language development department because
Beautiful.
they thought that infant massage is the first step for language development because you need
Yes.
to say something, wait, say something. So all of that is happening in our program. So these are the main benefits. And we always say it's not just the babies, it's also the parents, the communities, and society,
I
and the
love
whole
it.
family that benefits.
I can see so many of the, the nurturing, the things that we recommend for nurturing care for parents
Hmm.
that can be intimidating for them sound
Yes.
like they're really gently guided and held through the experience, especially the communication, especially the understanding that baby's already present and a
Yes.
person right away
A
and has
person, and they all
likes
have
and
different style.
dislikes
Yes.
and
Yes.
can
Yeah.
communicate so beautifully and effectively in those early years. And I love all of that. I love that it's helping parents understand the cue, like to see their baby's cues and fully understand all the subtle movements and gestures that babies do.
Mm.
What a beautiful experience.
Yes, and thank you for recognizing that also, because you're absolutely right in stating that some parents may be intimidated a bit, and a bit. Our approach is very much step by step. We don't teach the whole massage in one go. We have 5 sessions. It's like one or maximum two body part each time. So the baby learns, because it's not just the parent learning. The baby learns a step by step. And so parents, it's gradually that they become confident with massaging their babies. And we often see, like at the third session, a turning point. At the beginning, it's like, who are you? And am I okay? Will you consider me? But we're pretty cool, okay? We start with the legs because it's safe. Most babies love it. And we built it up slowly like that. And so then parents have the chance in a step by step process to feel their own competency with safely touching their baby and
Mhm.
touching their baby in a proper way. Yes.
Yeah. It also sounds to me so like such a beautiful way of modeling baby care, right? Because so often modern mothers are quite isolated, as you mentioned earlier. And so much of mothering and parenting is socially learned, right? Like
Yes.
all different
Yes.
parts. And that's just such a beautiful way to teach in community that way. And
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
the way we were meant to, right? Like I always marvel that sometimes the first baby someone holds is their own baby
Yeah.
when, you know, maybe a very short time ago in our human history, you would have held tons of babies, you would have cared for babies, you would have seen a lot of babies. And it's very bizarre in our
Yes.
modern world that your baby is the first baby you're ever speaking to or holding.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. It's true. If I see the 2 generations ago, in the families, so many babies and kids,
Yeah.
and the babies were all around. But you're right, some parents, they feel quite alone in this first time. And you also, thank you for mentioning the idea of modeling, because sometimes parents are a bit overwhelmed with all this. You should do this, you should do this. And we're not there. We don't give parenting advice. We leave parents, it's their total freedom what they feed their baby
Mhm.
and where they sleep the baby and where the baby, what the position, not our business, okay? We accept them as they are. We guide to nurturing touch and understanding our baby. We have our dolls. And there's this researcher, I don't know if you heard about her, her name is Angela Underdown. Some years ago, she did an academic study on what is it in an infant massage program that has an impact on well-being, mental health of the parents and babies. And she had identified 14 mechanisms that we were all
Wow.
having already in our program. We were so happy. Well, one of them, I promise you, when she came to present her study in one of our international conference, one of the mechanisms, she called them mechanism, is the instructor models proper behavior with the doll, right? And we all stood up and clapped, because
Mm.
sometimes people find us a bit crazy because, we care for our dolls, we dress them winter and summer, and we talk to them and we dress them at the same time as the parent dress them, and we hold them just innocently. We have a proper behavior with our doll, a
Beautiful.
nurturing behavior, and by like what's the word in English? Osmosis.
Yes.
Okay. without us lecturing them, just by osmosis, all of a sudden they start to say, it's okay to go, "Ooh, you like this," with a little voice. It's just beautiful.
It
And it's not
is.
forced, it's just there. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know it is heartbreaking when someone is holding back that intuitive voice or gesture because they think there's some kind of outside pressure or something watching, right? And
Yeah.
that kind of modeling, yeah, lets you be free in so
Yes.
many ways. It could set you free. Oh, that's so
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
So many incredible benefits for babies. You mentioned for mothers and parents too. Um, what like well-being, sort of that connection to their intuitive nurturing and letting that unfold. Any other big benefits for the parents?
Well, for the parents, the big benefits, I would say, like they're like personal at the physical level, because studies have shown that as soon as I touch my baby, myself, I start to produce like those more parenting hormones and feel good hormones. I start to have a little more inclination to care for my baby, find my baby cute as he or she is,
Mhm.
because we always say they're all different right from the start. Like, look at us.
Yep.
Some are thin and long, some are rounder, and some are short, and some are really, really kind of cool. Others are more like it's so we talk about that. And the second one is to feel empowered, to feel capable. If
Yeah.
some parents feel so much not capable, they almost want to just pass on to the baby, and all
Yep.
of a sudden, especially in the presence of other parents, they start to see that they're not the only one worried about, things as simple as the color of their baby's poop, and the regularity and everything,
Wow.
and about, how to put them to sleep, and so there's also, all of a sudden, I feel I'm okay. I feel I'm okay as a parent.
Beautiful.
And another huge benefit, I would say, is peer support, because we create in our classes, it's not just a massage. We have a theory aspect, understanding a baby, and like a social parenting discussion where we don't give advice, but we ask parents and they start together to share their ideas, what they've learned, what work and everything. And
Beautiful.
there's this social aspect that is built. It brings tears to your eyes. Friendships are created. Okay. And I constantly review assignments so I read all the parents' evaluation. I probably read like 30,000 in my life. And I keep saying, the parent, they fill out, what did you like best about the course? And you would think learning massage, which comes sometime,
Yeah.
but most of the time they write getting out of the house,
Yes.
meeting other parents, and being in a safe environment. These are the things that they experience socially in a class with the others. So therefore, there's also this good old ideas about it takes a village to raise a baby. All of a sudden, I'm not alone. Friendship are established. They continue to meet, massage their babies together, create a stroller club where they go take walks. So there is something in the community, because we're just a little more individualistic, aren't we, in our modern world? And we don't
Yeah.
have like 10 brothers and sisters who also had babies and everything. So we recreate a new way of being together with our babies.
That's
It is
beautiful.
so, so, so beautiful. So
Beautiful.
beautiful.
I'm
Yes.
thinking of all the mothers I've supported who I had to encourage, right, to go out and find community and to
We,
yes, and,
yes.
this would be such a beautiful place for people to
Yes,
go.
yes.
Yeah,
It's not
wonderful.
easy for some parents. Sometimes you even need like there's a center I worked many years, some years ago, for a more vulnerable part of the city, where they were trying to find ways to reach out for parents that are more difficult to reach out.
Mm.
And they had in my first group, there was a mother with quite a character, and finally, the director of the center, she said, Sylvie, what are you doing to these parents? I said, I'm teaching the AIM course, but there's a mother in your class that goes everywhere in the corridor and tells everyone, you can go to Sylvie, she's all right. And I thought, okay, we need to be so humble when we approach parents. They can easily be intimidated.
Yeah.
And that's what, when we train our instructors to reach out to family, we develop also in us all those very humble quality, welcoming qualities, listening, respect,
Yeah.
because we have people now from all the cultures. And sometimes we don't even realize that we may have a bit of a narrow thinking about what should be done, and there's the government papers and everything, and people, we push all of that. Say, who are you? Okay, who is your baby?
Mhm.
And we welcome you as you are. We welcome you even if you're overwhelmed. We welcome you even if you didn't have time to put makeup, or whatever. We welcome you. We love you as you are.
I love it. And that's what
And
our
one thing,
babies need too.
oh my God, they need to, because some parents did say, This baby is impossible." Remember one mother, you know, "Somebody help me. My other baby was so easy, this baby." And all of a sudden, welcome, ye, and we just teach, and all of a sudden, "You remember how I was last week? Yeah. Okay. This is a miracle." Okay.
Mhm.
So there was those switch we often observe that are absolutely so beautiful to see.
Mhm.
Even if we sometimes, I always tell the future instructors, sometimes you suffer. Sometimes you see parents with their babies that are maybe not acting as you would think, nurturing and everything. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
We have to be accepting that it makes us suffer, but never stop trusting, because nurturing touch goes beyond the intellect. It has an effect. And we see sometimes in quite extreme situation a turning point. Beautiful, not push, never push.
Yeah.
You can't push.
Yeah.
You can't say, "Hey, you should do that with your baby." We've got to be patient and see the process. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
incredible. Incredible. So for people who are curious about being part of it, it
Mm.
sounds like they can find a class probably in their community.
Yes,
We'll put up a link for that
yes.
for your organization. And then for people who just kind of wanna get curious starting with massage right away, what if they wanna start right now? What's
Well,
what's one thing they could do to dip their toe
one
in?
thing that they could do is something beautiful that we teach in our association called resting hands. Our hands are magical. Okay?
Yes,
They are healer.
yes,
And sometimes the baby may be upset, and if we just put one hand or even two hands on our baby, no push, no nothing, we relax ourselves, we imagine warmth in our hands, and we put no matter where on the body, resting hands and holding.
beautiful.
Holding. These are the basic two things. Holding, okay? Even sometimes we have little babies that are all over the place, except like here. Just put your hands like this around the arms.
Mhm.
Just that creates little miracles.
Yes,
Okay, and then you come to a class and we show you all the strokes. And by the way, before I forget, our program is for all babies, birth to 12 months old, even if they have additional needs. Okay? Nurturing touch is for all babies. Even if the baby was in a car accident or was born and everything, we'll find that piece of touch where we'll
beautiful.
teach a parent. We have adaptations for babies, even babies who are born prematurely that are still in hospital. We have an approach for those people, health professional who are interested in bringing the proper nurturing touch right from the start, safe touch. We have approaches for all stages and babies who have additional needs also. Yes,
Incredible,
yes.
incredible.
And I
Well,
don't know if people from other countries listen to this, but because we are everywhere, if you go on the international website, aim.net, and then you just type the country where you are, and then you get into that country, we have what we call chapters. It will be in whatever language, and you ask for an instructor, a class in your area. Okay, so It is everywhere.
Fantastic. Well, I can't wait to explore that as well and share that with
That's great.
my practitioners who are in many countries all over around the world as well. Actually, some of them
Yeah.
are infant massage instructors too. So they're
In
combining.
Ontario, it is very strong. Our program is very strong in Ontario. So if there's a lot of people in Ontario, you will find an instructor. Several early on centers offer, as well as independent instructors offer class.
Incredible. Well, I share your organization's wish for all babies to receive love, unconditional love, unconditional nurturing touch. And I learned so much from you today. Thank you so much, Sylvie.
My pleasure.
And it
My
was such a
pleasure.
pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you.